Yep, it happened. One of our worst nightmares that could possibly happen in our full-time RV life.
Yep.
Stick around, we're going to talk about what happened, how we dealt with it, and some lessons learned.
Hi, I'm Shauna.
And I'm Brian, and we're Life Uninterrupted.
We sold our home and everything in it.
We quit our corporate jobs to travel full-time and live a life on the road that's more purposeful and enjoying for us.
Absolutely.
So, by the title of our video, On the Hook, you can tell that we had an issue with our motorhome. And we've talked a little bit about this on other social media platforms. So we just wanted to kind of go in a little bit more in depth. What happened, how we dealt with it, and some lessons learned. And we'll also share some tools with you that might help you out if you find yourself in similar circumstances.
As we started from the top of this video, this was one of our greatest fears going into this lifestyle, and it happened a little sooner than we anticipated, but it was a great lessons learned.
Yeah, many of you know we have a Class A motorhome that has a Ford Triton V10 engine. It's a gas engine, and it's always been a fear of mine that the engine may develop a problem and we have an issue and have to have it repaired, yada yada. Well, it certainly didn't happen. Hey, good morning, everybody. So we made it out of Orlando, not too far, about 150 miles, up to Lake City, Florida, on our way to a COE there in Bainbridge, Georgia. Well, as we pulled into the Cracker Barrel here, I noticed kind of a ticking, tapping, knocking sound on the left side of the engine. Now our engine is a gas engine. It's the Triton V10 3-valve series. So of course, whenever I hear a knock or a tap, I always think the worst, because I mean, generally you're going to have something kind of major wrong. So we got a tech. So I have a mechanic coming out this morning to take a look at things. Hopefully it's something simple, but I think at least he's going to have to pull the valve cover off the left side of the engine, or the right side as you look at it from the front of the coach. Not much I can do on the road. If I were at home and I still had a home with all my air tools and all my mechanics tools and everything, I could take the head off and everything myself and check it out. But being on the road, you're very much limited in what you can do. So yeah, there's that. I got on the phone and called a local mechanic that was able to come out and take a look, and he didn't seem overly concerned. Unfortunately, he couldn't do the work, and so we started down the road of trying to find a repair shop or even a dealership that could work on our coach.
And just to find out what's wrong with it, right?
Right. Really what to find, really to kind of help diagnose the problem.
Right.
Man, we have had one heck of a time finding a mechanic in the Lake City area that can even work on what's considered a commercial vehicle.
Which is very surprising.
Even went to a Ford dealer here, they can't work on it. They referred us to someone up in Georgia. So ultimately, we did find a shop, and kind of preceding all this, we did use one of our really good benefits through FMCA, and that's Roadside Rescue. And the Roadside Rescue, we'll leave a link in the description. It'll talk about all the different benefits you get with Roadside Rescue. And so we use the tow service. So we're considered 100 miles or more from home. So our tow was free to the nearest repair center, which was awesome, which was, again, a Ford dealership about 60 miles away in Jacksonville, Florida. So we set up the tow for the next morning. This was a Thursday night that we called Roadside Rescue, had it set up for first thing Friday morning. Tow truck driver shows up, does everything, gets everything on the hook, as we call it, and tows us down the road to Jacksonville. Driver showed up, a nice big heavy duty lift on that sucker, so you should be able to get the job done. It's always a little disconcerting to think that your home is being towed away. So yeah, just got to weigh up. I know. All hooked up, ready to go. We made it to the dealership here in Jacksonville. Everything in one piece. No damage to the rig on the way over. We're going to pick up the motorhome. And
problem is though that we dropped it off at the Ford Service Center.
Yeah.
And yet again, we're turned away because they don't have the equipment, the heavy-duty equipment, to work on our engine, which is just frustrating and baffling to us.
They can work on the engine. They don't have the lift to be able to lift it up and do the things. I don't know. This is what the service advisor told me.
It's crazy.
So we're going to go pick it up and take it to yet another real heavy equipment maintenance shop, and told the guy, called the guy and said, this is what we've got. He said, no problem. We work on fire trucks and buses, and so apparently, at least over the phone, they can take a look at it. This is, I don't know how many we've gone through to try to get this rectified.
It's nuts.
We're mobile. We could have driven, so it wasn't completely, the engine wasn't dead.
No.
But you just thought it was best,
Yeah.
being very mechanically inclined, that we not put any more stress on it.
It was prudent, yeah, I think. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, and the fact that we're still on the road. So we get to the Ford dealership. Again, we talked earlier, they couldn't do the work. We contacted several other shops that couldn't do the work, and kind of gave us worst case scenario where and the engine would need to be replaced, somewhere around $10,000. This coach has 43,000 miles on it. The Triton V10s are known to be super strong engines, but they do have their issues like any engine. Long story short, we did find a repair facility that was willing to do the work. They thought it was also something relatively minor. Gave me a quote for $3,700 to do some work on the top of the engine and it's called the valve train. Was there for about a week or so.
Yeah, at least.
Before they were finished. Kept kind of pushing it out one day further. They had to order some special tools and things. Anyway, they replaced what they thought was wrong. Started the engine back up. Apparently that wasn't the problem. So
Right.
that cost us $2,600 for them to do work that ultimately wasn't the problem. But we had brand new shiny parts in the engine that we didn't need, so.
Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all part of it, I guess. But anyway, ultimately they kind of said also the same thing, that we think you need a new engine and be somewhere around $10,000. Yeah.
That was hard to swallow.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yes.
So ultimately, I decided to kind of not go with their advice and drive the coach. And that has been well over 500 miles now. The engine still has a little bit of a knock, but it runs fine. Perfectly smooth, purrs like a kitten other than the little knock going down the road. Once we get to Phoenix, we are going to address the issue, take it probably to a shop and have the engine torn down and find out what's going on. But take it to someplace where we're comfortable with, or we know the area and so on.
The concern of this type of situation is, where are we going to live? What are we going to do if we have to move out of our coach? And that's exactly what we ended up having to do. And it wasn't just for a couple of days. And we weren't in a situation where we could actually stay in our motorhome on the lot, which I understand some folks are able to do, but in this particular circumstance, we weren't able to do it.
So we were displaced for 10 days,
Yeah.
which is significant.
Yeah,
if you think about
exactly.
it.
And we didn't know, day to day, how long it was, what was wrong, first of all, and then how long it was going to take to fix. So we ended up searching for a hotel that was pet friendly, because we have 2 dogs. That would have a kitchenette, so that we were able to use the food that we had in our refrigerator and our freezer, and so that didn't go to waste, and we had to pull all of that out. We wanted something that was fairly close to the shop in case we needed to go back for something. Maybe we forgot a medication or an item of clothing, or something like that. Yeah. So a lot that we had to take into consideration, and then the cost. How are we going to pay for a hotel room that's could be potentially $100 and up per night. So a lot to take into consideration.
As we mentioned earlier, we are FMCA members, Family Motor Coach Association members, and one of the extra benefits that we decided to purchase is called Roadside Rescue. Super great benefit, and one of the things it does for you is offers free towing. You know, there are lots of roadside assistance programs out there that offer this sort of thing too. So this is just one example. It's I think $79 a year.
We will confirm that.
Yeah, we'll confirm that. But last we checked, it was $79. So it offers towing when you're 100 miles or farther from your home address, which in this case we were, since we are domiciled in South Dakota.
Right.
So throughout the whole process, from the time we called to the time the person showed up, roadside assistance kept in contact with us, shot us emails or texts, whatever we wanted, however we wanted them to communicate with us is how they communicated with us, which was nice. And another great benefit of roadside assistance is it's called trip interruption. So in our case, our hotel room was about $160 or $70 a night, pet fees, all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
So the trip interruption portion of roadside assistance covers $300 per night up to 5 nights, so a total of $1,500.
Great.
Yeah.
Great benefit.
So in our case, it only covered about half of the time we were there, but hey, it's better than nothing. So
Absolutely.
just about $1,100,
Yep.
assuming they cover everything. And so it's a very important note to make is if you're in that situation, make sure you keep itemized receipts for your
Yes.
hotel rooms, all of your food, anything that you spend. The person sent an email. They said, here's what you need to supply to us. And it'll take about up to 30 days for us to review everything and provide any reimbursement. So we're still on that waiting mode. It's been about a week and a half or so.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Smooth
a
process so far. You know, from the time we made the phone call to get the rig picked up to now that we're waiting on reimbursement, pretty painless. I think we'll probably report back in once we get an answer from about the reimbursement. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the folks with FMCA were so helpful and so kind, understanding, you know, that we're in this chaotic predicament and trying to kind of help alleviate the stress that we were feeling, at least on the phone.
Another great part of Roadside Rescue, which I haven't mentioned, is they also dispatch mobile mechanics, lockout,
Yeah.
gasoline, tire changes, all that kind of stuff, which a typical roadside assistance program will offer. But you know, the FMCA community is so large. If you're a member of FMCA, you can go onto the website. Anywhere you are, you can look at members in your area. They provide their phone numbers or contact information. You can call them up and say, hey, I'm in your area. I'm broken down. Is there a good mechanic you recommend that I can take our rig to? So that's a super great thing, right? Because you would hope that people that are living in that area know the area and are willing to give you those resources.
Yeah.
So anyway, a vast network of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we weren't intending to make an FMCA commercial here today.
Right, yeah.
But they've been so helpful to us along the way that it's just worth mentioning.
Well, we're members, and we always like to just kind of spread the word about the membership that we have.
If you have an interest in joining FMCA or looking for more information on FMCA, we do have a link in the description.
Yeah. This leads us to lessons learned. Number one lesson learned for me is keep calm.
Yes, keep calm.
These things happen.
Stay positive, understand and know that you're going to get through this, and it happens to just about everyone at some point on the road.
And as I mentioned earlier, is know all the resources that are available to you.
Yes.
If you have memberships, make sure you understand all the nuances of those memberships. Again, we mentioned FMCA has a vast network of members. You can go into the directory, find out who is in your area, their phone number, email, reach out. Some members even allow you to stay on their property.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if you called up one of those members and they would happen to say, well, yes, I'm an engine mechanic, bring it over and we'll get it
on
fixed.
over.
That would
Yeah.
be awesome. I'm sure
Or
those
have
things
it
happen.
towed on over. Yeah.
I'm positive those kind of things happen.
Yes.
But in the middle of the stress and pressure, just remember your resources.
You utilized FMCA, but your insurance, your own insurance as well, may have some of these benefits.
Right.
So I would just say, know what you've got.
Very true. Last but not least, we talked about this earlier, is the importance of having some sort of an emergency fund. Have that emergency fund so that will help cushion the blow when big ticket items come up, because they're gonna come up.
They're going to.
We're 6 months in, and
And we're not trying to be Debbie Downers. We're
No.
try to be very
This is-
realistic
right.
in what you need to know and what you need to
This
expect.
is reality. We're in 6 months now into our full-time life, and
Yes.
we've almost exhausted
we have
our budget
yes.
for the year.
Yes, we budgeted $5,000 a year for repairs. A
Yeah.
big reason for $5,000 is that Brian is very mechanically inclined and can fix just about anything as long as he's got the right tool
Yeah.
and the right equipment in order to do that. That was, that's just a risk
Yeah.
that we took.
We decided to assume that risk.
Right.
And, again, self-insure with that $5,000 per year
Right.
in our emergency fund.
Yeah. And there are some great extended warranties out there. If we had one, we would recommend wholesale warranties. That's the direction that we would go.
If you feel more comfortable having peace of mind, then by all means look for a company. Look for a company that's highly rated. Again, we would recommend wholesale warranties.
Right.
And we'll leave some information on wholesale warranties in the description as well.
We know a lot of RVers that partake in wholesale warranties, extended warranty.
Quite a lot. One of the best out there.
Yes.
Definitely. So with that said, let us know, what some of your fears are out there on the road doing full-time RV life, what challenges you've had, breakdowns, costs, those kinds of things, expenses surrounding those mechanical failures of items. It'd be interesting to know.
Well, others in our community too, as they're watching this video, they may go through the comments and find something in there that's helpful to them. And that's what we want to be, is very helpful to others and throw out a few nuggets. Learn from our experience as we go.
It's one thing that I've noticed since I answer all of the comments that come in through our videos is that people do dig down into the comments and we'll find stuff that's relevant to them and either ask questions to the original commenter or ask questions of us that we'll go through and answer. So that does happen quite a lot.
Yeah. And if you have an extended warranty, who are you using?
Yeah, interesting. Be interested to know that.
Yeah.
So leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought of the video. Give us a big thumbs up if you liked it. 2 thumbs down if you didn't.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribed, it'd be awesome if you did. We'd love to have you along on our journey.
Yes, we would. We'd love to have you as part of our community. And if you haven't already, hit that notification bell and then you'll be notified anytime a new video comes out.
Yep. So I guess that about wraps it up.
I think it does.
Until next time.
We'll see ya. To travel the U.S. and live a more purposeful life. I didn't really like that. We could do it again. And everything in it.
We could record. 3, 2, 1. From the top. Oh. Brian, and we're life uninterrupted.
We quit our jobs. Oh my God. So I'm so focused on yours. Okay, here we go.
3, 2.
Let me fix my braids. And we're good. Okay.
3, 2. That we have, and obviously, where's I going with that?
I don't know. Especially since you have a ewer. 3, 2, 1. And some folks may be asking, really, Ricky? Let's learn. Let me take a sip. Fix the little braidies. Do up the little lippies.